Effendi. A man of high education or social standing in an Eastern Mediterranean or Arab country. 18-wheeler. A large tractor-trailer with 18 wheels. Elecampane. A plant with yellow daisy-like flowers and bitter roots that are used in herbal medicine. Empty-handed. Having failed to obtain or achieve what one wanted. Empty-headed. Unintelligent and foolish. Enamor. Be filled with love or admiration for. Encephalography. Any of various techniques for recording the structure or electrical activity of the brain. Encipher. Convert something into a coded form. Endmost. Nearest to the end. Enroll. Officially register or recruit someone as a member or student. Intation. The action of orienting someone or something. Entr'acte. A bone steak cut off the sirloin. Entrechat. Ballet, a vertical jump during which the dancer repeatedly crosses the feet and beats them together. Enviable. Arousing or likely to arouse envy, desirable. Epigone. Literary, a follower or imitator of a distinguished artist, philosopher, musician, etc. Epoch-making. Very important and likely to have a great effect on a particular period of time. Eponym. A word that comes from the name of a person. Equi. Equal, equally. Equipage. Old use equipment. Eroticize. Give something the quality of being able to arouse sexual desire or excitement. Persecute. Treat someone in a cruel or unfair way, especially because of their race or beliefs. Eructation. Formal, a belch. Establishmentarian. Supporting the principle of an established church. E-tailer. A retailer who sells goods via electronic transactions on the internet. Eternal. Lasting or existing forever. Eukaryote. Variant spelling of eukaryote. Bureaucrat. Informal, chiefly derogatory, a bureaucrat in the administration of the European Union. Eventful. Marked by interesting or exciting events. Exceptionable. Formal, open to objection, causing disapproval or offense. Expurgate. Remove matter regarded as obscene or unsuitable from a piece of writing. Extemporary. Spoken or done without preparation. Extinction. The state of being or process of becoming extinct. Ex voto. An offering given in order to fulfill a vow. Ex voto. An offering given in order to fulfill a vow. Exogen. A colorless, odorless gas that forms about 20% of the Earth's atmosphere. Eye-full. Informal one, a long steady look. Eye-hole. A hole to look through, especially in a curtain or mask. Eye-popping. Informal, astonishingly large or blatant. Eye-tooth. A canine tooth, especially one in the upper jaw. Air. Literary form of ever. Facecloth. A washcloth used specifically for one's face. Face-saving. Preserving one's reputation or dignity. Facrimal. Variant spelling of lacrimal. Facustrine. Technical or literary relating to lakes. Fadian. A gradual increase in sound volume or in the visibility of a filmed scene. Fair-minded. Judging things in a fair and impartial way. Falling out. A quarrel. Fancy-free. Not emotionally involved with anyone. Foundline. A conventional telecommunications connection by cable laid across land. Fansom. A sum of money demanded or paid for the release of a captive. Far-flung. Distant or remote. Far off. Distant in time or space. Far-reaching. Having many important effects or implications. Far-seeing. Having foresight, far-sighted. Fateful. Having far-reaching and usually disastrous consequences. Father-in-law. The father of one's husband or wife. Forel. An evergreen shrub or small tree with dark green glossy leaves. Featherbrained. Silly or absent-minded. Feature length. About the same length as a typical movie. Federal. Relating to a system of government in which several states unite under a central authority but remain independent in internal affairs. Fee-for-service. Charging a set fee for every service provided. Figation. A diplomatic minister and their staff. Feral. Of an animal or plant, wild, especially after having been domesticated. Festal. Relating to a festival, festive. Fetal. Relating to a fetus. Fader. A strong, foul smell. Firm. State firmly or publicly. Fluent. Wealthy, rich. Organization. An organized group of people with a particular purpose, e.g., for business. Fibation. A drink poured out as an offering to a god. Fibrillate. Make a quivering movement due to uncoordinated contraction of the individual fibers. Fiddle-faddle. Trivial matters, nonsense. 50-50. And adverb with equal shares or chances. Filariasis. A disease caused by infestation with parasitic worms, transmitted by biting flies and mosquitoes in the tropics. Filovirus. An RNA virus of a group that causes certain severe fevers characterized by hemorrhages. Filter feeding. Feeding by filtering out plankton or nutrients suspended in the water. Finger mark. A mark left on a surface by a dirty or greasy finger. Fingerpick. Play a guitar or similar instrument using the fingernails or plectrums worn on the fingertips. Fire eater. An entertainer who appears to eat fire. First degree. Of burns, affecting only the surface of the skin and causing reddening. First rate. Of the best class, quality, or condition, excellent. Fish meal. Ground dried fish used as fertilizer or animal feed. Fish plate. Another term for fish? Fish sauce. Fitful. Not continuous, regular, or steady. Feigelhorn. A brass musical instrument like a cornet but with a broader tone. Five spice. A blend of 5 powdered spices, typically fennel seeds, cinnamon, cloves, star anise, and peppercorns, used in Chinese cooking. 5-star. Especially of a hotel or restaurant, denoting the highest class or quality. Fixed income. Finance, of investments, paying a constant rate of return. Fixed wing. Of the conventional type as opposed to those with rotating wings, such as helicopters. Flagellum. Biolocy, a long, thin projection that enables many single-celled organisms to swim. Flag waving. A display of extreme patriotism. Flat-chested. Having small breasts. Flea-bitten. Bitten by or infested with fleas. Flesh-colored. Of the color of European people's skin. Flex fuel. Referring to a motor vehicle that will run on gasoline, ethanol, or these two in any combination. Flimfium. Informal one insincere and unconvincing talk. Floating point. Computing, referring to a method of encoding numbers as 2 sequences of bits, one representing the number's significant digits and the other an exponent. Fluorinate. Introduce fluorine into a compound. Flyblown. Contaminated by contact with flies. Fly-by-night. Unreliable or untrustworthy, especially in financial matters. Fly-by-wire. Referring to a semi-automatic computer-regulated system for controlling an aircraft or spacecraft. Fly sheet. A fabric cover pitched over a tent to give extra protection against bad weather. Number. Photography, the ratio of the focal length of a camera lens to the diameter of the aperture being used for a particular shot. Focal. Relating to a focus, especially the focus of a lens. Foggerhead. A large-headed reddish-brown turtle of warm seas. Folksonomy. The activity of sorting information into categories derived from the consensus of the information users, or the result of this. Phone line. A deep-sea fishing line with a large number of hooks attached to it. Longshoreman. A person employed to load and unload ships. Footbrake. A foot-operated brake in a motor vehicle. Foot tapping. Having a strong rhythmical musical beat. Force feed. Force someone to eat food. Forceful. Powerful, assertive, or vigorous. Foredoom. Literary, be condemned beforehand to certain failure. Foreordain. Appoint or determine something beforehand. Foreshorten. Depict an object or view as being closer or shallower than in reality, so as to convey an effective perspective. Forestall. Prevent or delay something anticipated by taking action before it happens. Forgather. Variant spelling of foregather. Forgave/forgave/ past of forgive. Forget-me-not. A low-growing plant with bright blue flowers. Formalin. A solution of formaldehyde in water. 45. A phonograph record played at. Full up. A problem caused by a stupid mistake. Four-dimensional. Having the three dimensions of space, length, breadth, and depth, plus time. Four-stroke. Having a cycle of 4 strokes, intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust. 14/410, 410/. Felon. A small tree with white flowers and red berries. Frame up. Informal, a conspiracy to incriminate someone falsely. Free associate. Allow the mind to supply whatever word, thought, or image is suggested by one previously mentioned or noted. Free-for-all. A disorganized or unrestricted situation or event in which everyone may take part. Freeze-dry. Preserve something by rapidly freezing it and then removing the ice in a vacuum. Freeze frame. A single frame forming a motionless image from a film or videotape. Freeze up. An instance of something freezing. Fretful. Anxious or upset. Fret saw. A saw with a narrow blade for cutting designs in thin wood or metal. Frog march. Force someone to walk forward with their arms pinned from behind. Frugivore. An animal that feeds on fruit. Stop. A camera setting corresponding to a particular number. Fucubration. Literary, a scholarly or pedantic piece of writing. Fuddy-duddy. Informal, a person who is old-fashioned and who often disapproves of modern ideas, behavior, etc. Fuel. Material such as coal, gas, or oil that is burned to produce heat or power. Full-blooded. Wholehearted and enthusiastic. Full-bodied. Rich and satisfying in flavor or sound. Full-fledged. Completely developed or established, of full status. Full frontal. Fully exposing the front of the body, especially the genitals. Full-grown. Having reached maturity. Full-scale. Of a model or representation, of the same size as the thing represented. Fuminance. The component of a television signal that carries information on the brightness of the image. Funch meat. Meat sold in slices for sandwiches, cold cuts. Functional. Relating to or having a function. Funeral. A ceremony held shortly after a person's death, usually including the person's burial or cremation. Furbelow. A strip of gathered or pleated material attached to a skirt or petticoat. Fword. Euphemistic, the word fuck. FXP, abbreviation, visual or sound effects. Gallery. A room or building in which works of art are displayed. Gallicism. A French word or phrase adopted in another language. Galoche. A waterproof rubber overshoe. Galumph. Informal move in a clumsy, heavy, or noisy way. Gametocyte. Biology: a cell that divides by meiosis to form a spermatozoon or an ovum. Garden variety. Of the usual or ordinary type, commonplace. Gaucherie. Awkward or unsophisticated ways. Gavel to gavel. From beginning to end and all-inclusive. Gazania. A tropical herbaceous plant of the daisy family, with flowers that are typically orange or yellow. Bermensch. The ideal superior man of the future who could rise above conventional Christian morality to create and impose his own values. Giga. A showy object, especially one that is useless or worthless. Gel cap. A gelatin capsule containing liquid medication or other substance to be taken orally. Gender neutral. Involving, directed at, or designed for use by both sexes equally. Gene altered. Genetically modified. General purpose. Having a range of potential uses or functions. Ghettoize. Put in an isolated or segregated place, group, or situation. Giant killer. A person or team that defeats a much more powerful opponent. Gigaflop. Computing a unit of computing speed equal to 1 billion floating point operations per second. Gious. Having a tendency to take legal action to settle disputes. Glad hand. Greet or welcome someone warmly. Glandular. Relating to or affecting a gland or glands. Gleeful. Very happy, especially in a gloating way. Glue sniffing. The practice of inhaling intoxicating fumes from certain types of glue. Glycol. Short for ethylene glycol. Go round. An instance of an activity or pattern that occurs repeatedly. Goat antelope. A mammal of a group including 556 goat the chamois, with characteristics of both goats and antelopes. Go-between. An intermediary or negotiator. Go-kart. Variant spelling of go-kart. Godetia. A North American plant with showy lilac to red flowers. God-fearing. Earnestly religious. God-given. Received from God. Go-getter. Informal and energetic and very enterprising person. Goggle-eyed. Having wide open eyes, especially through astonishment. Going over. Informal one, a thorough cleaning or inspection. Going son. Informal suspect or unusual activities, goiter, 6 writ. Good for nothing. Worthless and lazy. Good-humoured. Friendly or cheerful. Good-natured. Kind and unselfish. Good-sized. Adequately or generously large. good-tempered. Not easily angered. Gourami. An Asian fish of a large group including many kinds popular in aquariums. Gourmandize. Eat good food, especially to excess. Grammar. The whole structure of a language, including the rules for the way words are formed and their relationship to each other in a sentence. Greylag. A large goose with mainly gray plumage. Great aunt. An aunt of one's father or mother. Great nephew. A son of one's nephew or niece. Great niece. A daughter of one's nephew or niece. Great uncle. An uncle of one's mother or father. Greenlander. A person from Greenland. String. A skimpy undergarment covering the genitals, consisting of a narrow strip of cloth attached to a waistband. Suit. A garment lined with pressurized air pouches, worn by fighter pilots and astronauts to enable them to withstand high gravitational forces. Gulp. Swallow drink or food quickly or in large mouthfuls. Gun-shy. Alarmed at the sound of a gun. Gutta-percha. A hard, tough substance resembling rubber, obtained from certain Malaysian trees. Gut-wrenching. Informal, extremely upsetting or unpleasant. Hallucination. An experience involving a seemingly real perception of something not actually present. Hair-raising. Extremely alarming or frightening. Hair-raising. Hail falls. Half and half. And adjective in equal parts. Halfist. Vulgar slang done without much skill or effort. Half-baked. Informal, not well planned or considered. Half-caste. Offense of a person whose parents are of different races. Half-cock. The partly raised position of the cock of a gun. Half-hardy. Able to grow outdoors except in severe frost. Half-light. Dim light, such as that at dusk. Half-mast. The position of a flag that is being flown some way below the top of its staff as a mark of respect for a recent death. Half-timbered. Having walls with a timber frame and a brick or plaster filling. Half-truth. A statement that is only partly true. Half-volley. A strike or kick of the ball immediately after it bounces. Halto. Variant spelling of hello. Hall of Fame. Hamadryad. A nymph who lives in a tree and dies when the tree dies. Hammer toe. A toe that is bent permanently downward, typically as a result of pressure from footwear. Hand-me-down. A garment or other item that has been passed on from another person. Hands-off. Not involving or requiring direct control or intervention. Hand-to-hand. At close quarters and involving physical contact between the opponents. Hanger-on. Someone who tries to associate with a rich or powerful person in order to benefit from the relationship. Hanky-panky. Informal behavior considered to be slightly improper. Happy-go-lucky. Cheerfully unconcerned about the future. Hard-bitten. Tough and cynical. Harum-scarum. Reckless or impetuous. Hassium. A very unstable chemical element made by high-energy atomic collisions. Bomb. Short for hydrogen bomb. Head shrinker. Informal, a psychiatrist, psychologist, or psychotherapist. Head-to-head. An adverb involving two parties confronting each other in a dispute or contest. Head-turning. Very noticeable or attractive. Hearthrug. A rug laid in front of a fireplace. Heat-seeking. Able to detect and home in on heat produced by a target. Heave-a-ho. An act of heaving something. Heaven sent. Happening unexpectedly and at a very favorable time. Heavy-hearted. Depressed or melancholy. Hectogram. A unit of mass equal to 100 grams. Heebie-jeebies. Informal, a state of nervous fear or anxiety. Hee-haw. The loud, harsh cry of a donkey or mule. Heel ball. A mixture of hard wax and lampblack used by shoemakers for polishing or in brass rubbing. Helter-skelter. An adverb in a hasty and confused or disorganized way. Hemihemii. Half. Henpeck. Of a woman, continually criticize and nag her husband or other male partner. He'll. He will or he shall. Heicity. A fine detail or distinction. Hide-and-seek. A children's game in which one player tries to find other players who have hidden themselves. Higgard. A miserly person. Higgledy-piggledy. An adjective in confusion or disorder. High flyer. Someone who is very successful, especially academically or in business. High flown. Extravagant or intended to impress. High hat. A snobbish or supercilious person. High impact. Placing a great deal of stress on the body. High maintenance. Needing a lot of work to keep in good condition. High-minded. Having strong moral principles. High octane. Of gasoline, having a high octane number and therefore allowing an engine to run smoothly. High-pitched. High in pitch. High-powered. Informal, of a person, dynamic and forceful. High pressure. Involving a high degree of activity and exertion, stressful. High profile. Attracting much attention or publicity. High strung. Very nervous and easily upset. Hitormous. As likely to be unsuccessful as successful. Hip positive. Having had a positive result in a blood test for HIV. Hocuspicus. Meaningless talk used to deceive someone. Hohospice. A home providing care for people who are sick or terminally ill. Ho-hum. Used to express boredom or resignation. Hoisette. A small round piece of meat. Hoity-toity. Snobbish or haughty. Hokey-pokey. A group song and dance performed in a circle, involving the shaking of each limb in turn. Holianthawal. Informal, a small dingy place, especially a bar or restaurant. Holier-thanthu. Offensively certain that one is morally superior to others. Holier-thanthu. Spend a holiday in a particular place. Homopteran. Any of a group of insects, including aphids and cicadas, in which the forewings are uniform in texture. Honest goodness. Genuine and straightforward. Honesty/anist/p noun 1, the quality of being honest and sincere. Hopi. A member of an American Indian people living chiefly in northeast Arizona. Hornbilt. A tropical bird with a horn-like structure on its large curved bill. Horn-rimmed. Having rims made of horn or a similar substance. Horse trading. Informal, hard and shrewd bargaining. Hot-blooded. Lustful, passionate. Hot-ion. A concept or belief. Hot-tempered. Easily angered. Hugget. A candy made from sugar or honey, nuts, and egg white. House dress. A simple, usually washable, dress suitable for wearing while doing housework. House proud. Very concerned with the cleanliness and appearance of one's home. House to house. An adverb performed at or taken to each house in turn. Hunky-dory. Informal, fine, going well. Hunter-gatherer. A member of a nomadic people who live chiefly by hunting, fishing, and harvesting wild food. Huddy-guddy. A musical instrument with a droning sound played by turning a handle, with keys worked by the other hand. Hurly-burly. Busy and noisy activity. Hush-hush. Informal, highly secret or confidential. Hydrogenate. Combine a substance with hydrogen. Hydrozoan. A small marine or freshwater animal related to jellyfish and corals and belonging to a group that includes hydras and the Portuguese man-of-war. Hymenopteran. An insect having 4 transparent wings, belonging to a large group that includes the bees, wasps, and ants. Hymenopterous. Belonging to a large group that includes the bees, wasps, and ants, having 4 transparent wings. Iathier. A maker of stringed instruments. Iative. The ability to act independently and with a fresh approach. Abeam. A girder that has the shape of a capital I when viewed in section. Iceable. Able to be done or put into effect successfully. Icam. Poetry, a unit of rhythm consisting of one short or unstressed syllable followed by one long or stressed syllable. Ickler. Informa. A very amusing joke or story. Iental. An edible seed with one flat and one curved side. Ephylake. accurate in its representation of a living person or thing. Digitize. Convert pictures or sound into a digital form that can be processed by a computer. Ichor. Alcoholic drink, especially distilled spirits. Llama. A domesticated animal of the camel family found in the Andes, used for carrying loads and valued for its soft woolly fleece. Allegiance. Loyalty or commitment to a superior person or to a group or cause. Ill-advised. Unwise or badly thought out. Ill-bred. Badly brought up or rude. Ill-conceived. Not carefully planned or considered. Ill-equipped. Not having the necessary equipment or resources. Ill-fated. Destined to fail or have bad luck. Ill-founded. Not based on fact or reliable evidence. Ill-gotten. Acquired by illegal or unfair means. Illip. A stimulus or boost. Ill-judged. Lacking careful thought, unwise. Ill-mannered. Having bad manners, rude. Ill-natured. Bad-tempered and sullen. Ill-tempered. Irritable or surly. Ill-treat. Treat someone or something cruelly. Illumine. Literary light something up. Ill-use. Treat someone badly. Similarly. In a similar way. Immure. Confine or imprison someone. Immode. A technology that allows data to be transferred to and from internet sites via cell phones. Incenses. Make very angry. Incommode. Formal cause inconvenience to someone. Incommodious. Formal or dated causing inconvenience or discomfort. In-crowd. Informal, a small group of people perceived by others to be particularly fashionable or popular. Indigenize. Bring something under the control or influence of native people. Industrial strength. Very strong or powerful. Ineducable. Considered incapable of being educated. Infelicity. An inappropriate remark or action. Inforter. Biology, a taxonomic category that ranks below a suborder. Inglass. A kind of gelatin obtained from fish. In-joke. A joke that is shared exclusively by a small group. Inlying. Within or near a center. Insectal. Resembling an insect. Insobriety. Drunkenness. Intellectual. Having a highly developed ability to think logically and understand things. Intercrop. Often as an intercropping / inter, cropping / grow a crop among plants of a different kind. Interfuse. Literary join or mix things together. Interlard. Intersperse speech or writing with contrasting words and phrases. Intersexual. existing or occurring between the sexes. Violent, using or involving violence. Erupt, enter forcibly or suddenly. Disappointment, sadness or displeasure caused by the failure of one's hopes to be fulfilled. Disapproval, the possession or expression of an unfavorable opinion. Disapprove, think that someone or something is wrong or bad. Pitiful, deserving or arousing pity. Pitiless, showing no pity, harsh or cruel. Idile, it will. Luthier, a maker of stringed instruments. Ivied, covered in ivy. Ixer, a person who arranges or manipulates something, especially in an illicit or devious way. Ignominious, precious, costly, high-priced, expensive, dear, priceless. ID, I had. Jack-in-the-box, a toy consisting of a box containing a figure on a spring that pops up when the lid is opened. Jack-in-the-pulpit, a woodland plant having a purple or green spadix that is followed by bright red berries. Jack-o'-lantern, a lantern made from a hollowed-out pumpkin in which holes are cut to represent facial features, made especially for Halloween. Jalapeno, a very hot green chili pepper. Jalapeno, a very hot green chili pepper. Jantor, a caretaker of a building, a custodian. January, the first month of the year. Jalaba, variant spelling of DJSELABA. Jerry-built, badly or hastily built. Jesuitical, relating to the Jesuits. Jetfoil, a type of passenger-carrying hydrofoil. Jezebel, a shameless or immoral woman. Disconnect, break the connection between two things. Distance, leave a competitor or pursuer far behind. Diversity, the state of being varied. Jocher, a person who poaches game or fish. Job share, share a single full-time job. Jockweed, a plant of the pea family that, if eaten by livestock, can cause a brain 763 lodger disorder marked by unpredictable behavior and loss of coordination. Jonacomalately, informal, a newcomer to or late starter at a place or area of activity. Joint stock, relating to joint ownership by shareholders. Journale, a newspaper or magazine dealing with a particular subject. Jucritical, law relating to judicial action and the law. Jury, a group of people who are required to attend a legal case and come to a verdict based on the evidence given in court. Judaize, make someone or something Jewish. Juman, physics, the SI unit of luminous flux. Jumanary, an important or influential person. Jumped up, Informal, considering oneself to be more important than one really is. Juno-esque. Tall and shapely. Durable. Hard-wearing. Juvenile. Works produced by an author or artist when young. Kafia. Variant spelling of kufiva. Kibbutznik. A member of a kibbutz. Kick pleat. An inverted pleat in a narrow skirt to allow freedom of movement. Kemel. A sweet liqueur flavored with caraway and cumin seeds. Kiloliter. 1,000 liters, equivalent to 220 imperial gallons. Kilometer/kilometer, kyle meter/Brit. Kissogram. A novelty greeting delivered by a person who accompanies it with a kiss. Kitchen sink. Dealing with working class life in a very realistic way. Kitty corner. And adverb, another term for cater cornered. Knife edge. The cutting edge of a knife. Knock-kneed. Having legs that curve inward at the knee. Know-nothing. An ignorant person. Labor-intensive. Needing a large workforce or a large amount of work in relation to what is produced. Labor-saving. Designed to reduce the amount of work needed to carry out a task. Lacrimally. Variant spelling of lacrimal. Lacto-vegetarian. A person who eats only dairy products and vegetables. Ladderback. An upright chair with a back resembling a ladder. Lady-in-waiting. A woman who attends a queen or princess. Ladida. Variant spelling of la piaipa. Laicise. Formal, withdraw clerical or ecclesiastical character or status from someone or something. Laissez-faire. A policy of allowing things to take their course without interfering, especially non-intervention by governments in the workings of the free market. Lamebrain. Informal, a stupid person. Lancelet. A small invertebrate marine animal. Lantern-jawed. Having long, thin jaws. Lappe. The part that is folded back at the front opening of a jacket or coat. Lardon. A chunk or strip of bacon inserted in meat before it is cooked. Last ditch. Referring to a final desperate attempt to achieve something. Last gasp. Done or happening at the last possible moment. Latinaize. Give a Latin or Latinate form to a word. Law-abiding. Obedient to the laws of society. Laywoman. See layman. Leave-taking. An act of saying goodbye. Legory. A story, poem, or picture that contains a hidden symbolic meaning. Leg up. An act of helping someone to mount a horse or high object. Lepressing. Causing unhappiness or dejection. Larry. Stockings, socks, and tights. Lescribe. Give a detailed account in words of someone or something.